Andy and I have been married for 36 years, and when we got married, I remember taking our vows in sickness and health, for better, for worse, but I don't really know that I had the realistic perspective that eventually he would be sick.
Growing up, my parents were very forthcoming with my sister and I about my dad's illness and what was going on. We knew that something was wrong, but it was not a daily part of our lives. It was something we lived with when we had to, and otherwise we were a regular family.
Being a nurse and as a health professional and knowing your husband has a chronic illness, it is really a double-edged sword because you have the ability to get information, you have access to maybe physicians that other people don't have, you can talk to friends, you can do more research, and sometimes I think ignorance is bliss. It would have been easy to live in denial that this wasn't going to happen, that everything would be great.
I think we always knew that at some point down the road we would probably end up, he would end up needing a transplant. It was just, when was that day going to come? And during the summer he started going through the testing. They started working him up thinking that that was probably the road that we were going to take. It's a lot of emotions to deal with. At one point I described it, it's like the roller coaster that you can't get off. There are great highs and great lows at the same time. And there's the loss of someone else's family member that you also have to deal with.
And through this whole process, Andy and I, we always prayed that we could give God the glory, no matter what happened, that it wasn't anything in our control, that God had a plan for us, and if he was going to use us, then he was going to use us.
As a nurse, I understood both sides of the situation, that he could have a successful transplant, but at the same time, we might not receive the organ in time. And you try not to go there and think about that, especially as I was starting to date and things were getting serious. Would he be around to walk me down the aisle?
When we got the call, Andy had actually had another surgery. He was in surgery because he had complications of his disease, and so he had a surgical procedure, and Kendra and I were actually in a large waiting room at Northwestern, and when the surgeon came out, he told us that Andy had a successful surgery, and he also said that he was going to get that there was an organ available, and it looked very, very good. Well, we had that news a couple weeks ago, so we were probably somewhat cautiously optimistic. It is pure joy when you get this news. I think that word even has new meaning for me because you've been waiting for this for literally months, and now you understand that it's going to happen. Although on the other side there is fear that what if it's not successful, or what will be the outcome. But ultimately at that moment, it was pure joy knowing that it was going to happen and learning that we did have a long day ahead of us. And it was wonderful. It really was wonderful.
When I think about the generous donation that Ryan's family made to ours, you really begin to think, how do you say thank you? Thank you doesn't seem like enough. And I think we have to live every day and really pay it forward, and that's how we say thank you to their family.
We met Ryan's grandmother, whose name is Marcia. We met his father and his sister, and when we first met them, I don't think there's any words to describe how you feel about the gift that you were given. I remember saying to Ryan's dad, thank you just doesn't seem enough, and why did you do this? And he said, because it was the right thing to do, that I've always believed in organ donation, and I still believe in it. This gift that Andy received from the Yers family, it is the most generous gift that they could have given our family. I know that on every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, Andy's birthday, things that are important to us, Andy usually sends them a note. And because of their generosity, our family has seen the marriages, the celebrations that we've had, and this gift has meant everything to us. I think that God put those people in our lives for a reason, and we try to be the best witness that we can be to them in being generous with our time, in giving back to the gift of hope and volunteering, and just trying to make the best use of their gift that we can. And I honestly thank God for them every single day.